You know why we can't have nice things in Florida? It's because every time voters here overwhelmingly approve a good idea, our elected officials have to come behind and break it. You remember how the profits from the Florida lottery were supposed to be used for, quote, supporting improvements in public education. Instead, the legislature has used the $30 billion it's generated to replace state funding, not supplement it. Decades later, instead of having one of the best funded education systems in the country, we're 46th nationally in per pupil spending, and teachers here would need a 28% raise just to meet the national average. State officials have repeatedly ignored the voters' intent, including twice with class size amendments 8 years apart, and Amendment 1, which should have been used to buy back environmentally sensitive lands. Which brings us to last November, when 65% of voters approved Amendment 4, restoring the voting rights of ex-felons. Top economists agree restoring voting rights reduces recidivism and would save the state over $300 million annually. But instead, this week, the House Criminal Justice Subcommittee voted along party lines to advance a bill requiring ex-felons to pay court costs above and beyond the fees and restitution they've already paid. Critics argue this would be a poll tax. Quote, the ability to vote should never be conditioned on your ability to pay. Let's be clear, as written, Amendment 4 does not require a clarification. It does not require payment of court costs or fines before the ex-felons' voting rights are restored. No doubt a scary proposition for Republicans. Lawmakers argue the amendment's language was vague, requiring their interpretation. But the Florida Supreme Court approved the language before the vote, ruling it was clear and not confusing the voters. What these politicians are trying to do is pick their voters instead of the other way around, which is the way democracy is supposed to work. It seems undermining the will of the voters is a lot of hard work. So on Wednesday, a Senate committee advanced a bill that would raise the threshold for passing constitutional amendments from 60% to a 2/3 majority. Shady. Just wait until you find out what they're trying to do with the money 18 school districts are raising through local referenda. If you found this information helpful, share it with a friend, and don't forget to click on the subscribe button.